Hey guys, how is everybody doing? Kurt Magoosh here, Slaughterhouse Sports, and recording one video today, really displaying, showing like the microphone in the studio because a lot of work today was film study, based on a lot of big commitments all around the country. But I know that a lot of people in Slaughterhouse Sports, that they pay attention to Coach Prime. They pay attention to Colorado football. And this weekend is going to be very interesting. I believe that this weekend we have Jackson State playing in the Celebration Bowl. I believe that will be Saturday. But there will still be a lot of the staff in Colorado, and they are hosting some high-profile names on the recruiting trail. So maybe even Sunday, Deion Sanders, Coach Prime will maybe get to Boulder to talk to some of these high-profile recruits. So there is one guy that I'm going to feature in this video, and again, if he commits to Colorado, we're going to have a whole film review. I just looked into his film today. He's a kid from Lincoln, Nebraska. His home is in Lincoln, Nebraska, and Mickey Joseph, who was an outstanding recruiter for the Huskers, he was able to get this kid to commit to Nebraska. He's a 95 in the 24/7 rankings, and that is Malachi Coleman. And he's one of the most interesting players really to watch on film because he truly is a two-way football player. He's about 6'5", I would say maybe 205 pounds. He's so thin at 6'5". But the thing that I will say about Coleman is that he's a very twitchy player. He has very long arms. He's an aggressive blocker, so he's willing to play physical. He has football character. He's tough. He blocks. But he could be utilized as a tight end prospect. You look at Noah Fant, right? A fast NFL kind of hybrid player. Isaiah Likely for the Baltimore Ravens, who is, 6'5" and also really thin. Of course, like Travis Kelce's maybe a little bit bigger, but he's going to fill out anyway, whether he's a tight end or whether he is an edge rusher. So I haven't talked about him being an edge rusher yet. But boy, oh boy, you watch him be an edge rusher, and he is so twitchy. And he could track down any quarterback. I would say that he has 4.4 speed, maybe even as crazy as this sounds. He might even get into the high 4.3s. That's how just fast and gifted he is as an athlete. Malachi Coleman, high character kid, committed with Mickey Joseph, and man, it's just it's a tough situation with Mickey because Mickey Joseph, as some of you guys know who watched this video, Mickey was on the precipice of landing a head coaching job somewhere or being paid maybe the highest assistant on Nebraska's staff, and now there's just a legal situation that really needs to be ironed out before Mickey can maybe get back into coaching or something. But Mickey was an impeccable leader and really was a great person for Nebraska football. And sometimes really good people can do awful things, and that is what is being speculated out there about Mickey Joseph. So Malachi Coleman then reopened his commitment after Matt Rule was selected as the head coach. Now, Matt Rule, they are still involved in Malachi Coleman. That's the thing, is that at Nebraska, they are still really involved. So this is an old school rivalry. When you look at the 2000s, guys, it was not even Alabama-Auburn. Yeah, you had Florida State and Miami. You know what it was? It wasn't USC and UCLA. It was Nebraska versus Colorado. And guess what the opening game is next year? Colorado hosting Nebraska, the first game of Coach Sanders' career in Boulder. After I think he plays TCU. So what a start. You're going and playing an old Big 12 rival, two old Big 12 rivals, which is spectacular. But Malachi Coleman off of the edge, he can be, I don't want to say he's Micah Parsons, right? I don't want to say that. He's just fast. He is really fast. He's really gifted. He's really twitchy. You put him on scout team, second team, let him develop as a pass rusher. He could be truly, truly special. He's a linebacker. He's an outside backer. He's going to cover people. That's the type of skill. But the thing is, he just hasn't. There's just not a lot of film of him covering people. Could he play tight end immediately? Sure. But can he probably make more money and be as impactful as an edge rusher? That's the thing. These are the conversations that you have to have with Charles Kelly. Because if Malachi Coleman comes aboard, sophomore year, you want to go to a 3-4 and let him blitz off the edge and cover the mobile quarterback. Because he could be a nightmare for quarterbacks. He's going to be a nightmare. You won't be able to run laterally on him. You can have him drop in the coverage. You can have him, towards the line of scrimmage. As a D coordinator, Malachi Coleman is a blessing for you because you get to decipher where you want to play him on the line of scrimmage. So we're going to do a whole film review. It's going to be a battle between Nebraska and Colorado. He's not going to Michigan this week. So that is the latest intel on Malachi Coleman, is that he's going to be visiting Colorado this weekend. So this is huge for Colorado. Denver Harris, the number one player in the transfer portal. Right up there with Chris Marshall. Denver Harris was part of that incredible Texas A&M recruiting class last year with Marshall Malkow, Jimbo Fisher. That was the highest ranked recruiting class ever. And now you have Chris Marshall, who was your 6'2 stud wide receiver. He is entering the transfer portal. But Denver Harris is too. Harris is probably 5'10". There's no better player at playing the football last year on tape than Denver Harris. Sure, his tackling could have improved, but in terms of him playing the football in the air, there was nobody better. So, Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, I mean, could you imagine Denver Harris playing with Travis Hunter? That would be impeccable. So Denver Harris is also part of these rumors here. The number one player in the transfer portal is really considering Colorado. Colorado is inside of the top three probably for Denver Harris. If that happens, the college football world is going to explode because Denver Harris is in high demand by pretty much everybody. He was a borderline 5-star recruit last year. He was like a high 4-star recruit. And at Texas A&M, it was just weird. Freshmen didn't really see the field. It was just the environment for Texas A&M and the culture was not good. Multiple players were suspended last year, even Chris Marshall maybe. I don't know about Harris, but the freshmen did not get along with the coaches really, and half of them are probably leaving and entering the transfer portal. So there's a lot of movement there with Texas A&M right now, just with the guys entering the portal at an excessively high rate. There's still no offensive coordinator there. Bobby Petrino went to UNLV. But Denver Harris is big time for Colorado. Tomorrow, before we enter the weekend, I'm going to start looking into the insiders at Colorado, and we're going to start to talk about everybody that's probably going to be on campus this week because it's up to our channel. And the good news is you look at YouTube, guys, there's tremendous content now on Colorado. But yeah, I'm going to try my best on this channel to stay up to date with the recruiting news, who is coming in, who is coming out. But wanted to talk about Malachi Coleman because he is truly one of the most unique football players that you will see because he doesn't have a lot of reps at defensive end. And at tight end, he's pretty dang good. But I think he might be a guy that really, transitions to being an edge rusher. And I think he's going to be a guy that's going to take a year, maybe not to redshirt, but to get up to speed with the Pac-12. And Nick Williams is going to help him out. Nick Williams, I think, a new hire for the defensive line coach there for Colorado. We might talk about Nick Williams tomorrow. All righty, guys, thanks for watching this video on Colorado. Let me know what y'all are thinking. It's going to be a big week, and we will cover the Celebration Bowl as well. his last game, Coach Prime's last game at Jackson State. So a very busy weekend for Coach Deion Sanders.